On this week's episode, we show you our new dinghy. We take you guys fishing with us. We show you the progress we've made on Lady Africa. We fixed up our diesel engine, which was giving us a little bit of problems. We celebrate the start of 2018. And we loosen up our standing rigging to take the mast down. Say hello, YouTube! Say hello, YouTube, guys! Showed you the progress on how much we've gotten done till Christmas. Since it was a very festive holiday month, we took off Christmas time and New Year's, so we just got done as much as we could. Started ripping out some cabinets in the cabins and ripped off some liner, but as you could see, there was still tons of work left to do. What are you going to do now?
We're going to do a little bit of fishing. It's Boxing Day. So how's the boat looking?
It's looking good.
It's looking good?
Lots of work. Oh, that thing's tiny.
Look at my first little species out of the bay.
Now you're going to put it back.
And away he goes.
I didn't manage to catch any fish, but we were off to my aunt's house to have a bar, aka barbecue, and then we went to go watch Christmas lights at night. What are we doing, honey?
Ons braai.
It's crazy.
No, they're all part of the. They're all. They were infected last night.
Where I was cleaning up and vacuuming, Ricky obviously had to go and make a huge mess again. Are you making yourself a styrofoam bowl, Han?
No. This guy put these things up here and they're full of foam, and this one was, well, somewhere we got water in, so it's leaking over there. And now I'm gonna take it out and then put a thin foam core on the sides just to thicken the hole, so that if the first layer gets pierced, there'll still be a second layer. And then we can turn all this area into storage space, and we get that double bed in here. We'll put a new plank up here to close up these tanks and rebuild all of these cabinets. But yeah, there's not going to be any cabinets, so now we've got all this space. I'm just getting rid of these because they're taking up a lot of space, and we want to rebuild everything anyways. We realized we've hit a couple of bad spots of wood, so rather try and rip all the wood out and go in with fiberglass, and then we know it's for life. We won't have any problems. So you get all the wood, kind of some of the wood in areas coming up like that, and you can't use that. At least we got a good hull. These Dean Cats were built really well. These Dean Cat hull wise, they were rock solid. Well, they still are rock solid. But obviously with wood, with time, if you don't take care that there's no leaks, the bloody stuff gets rotten and that. But cool project coming on.
So we've moved the kitchen. Well, we're going to move the kitchen this side, so we've gotten rid of it. The cabinets that were here.
Why did we take it out?
Because the wood was really bad, and as Afrikaans people say, die hout was vrot, which means the wood was rotten.
We're going to take it out and build new fiberglass ones.
And I just moved all our working tools to the bed because it just looks better in a corner than lying everywhere. So yeah, that's what we've been up to.
Taking out the roof liner because we're going to put in some new material, and we don't really fancy this old kind of thingy, so we're going to get some new insulation for here. It's going to be super nice and neat. Get rid of these lights and take out all of that wood liner out and put some new stuff in. Okay, we've opened up, and we're still going to remove that area there and this area and go right down into the hole.
Henrik, you have some good news.
We had a big lunch yesterday.
We had a nice Christmas. We ate a lot. Food, baby. Food.
So as you can see, while we took out the other side, show you that the other side was pretty much like this, and you can see it's moist plywood, and that's why we had to rip out the other side, and we're going to do the same. And while I was busy scraping this liner kind of off, start scraping down, and I got here, this is our bulkhead, and so that's what our bulkhead looks like. And that means that this whole section is going to have to be removed. So what we'll do is we'll have to remove this panel, remove these cabinets, put in a new section, and this time we're going to fiberglass it. Please, all manufacturers, when you put in bulkheads, fiberglass them, and maybe even use a foam core, so that people don't have to remove bulkheads ever, even though they want to do a refit 20 years down the line. So this wall liner stuff that we're busy pulling off, like we got over here, it's not a bad thing, but I'll show you why we do pull it off and why I don't like it so much. So this was like an area that was perfectly fine. It kind of looked like this. So it looked like that, and once I pulled it off, check how much, see, so it's showing problems of humidity and that coming through everywhere, where if you didn't have this, you wouldn't be sitting with this problem now, and you'd immediately be able to see if there was a leak. So what we're going to do is we'll take all of this, sand it off nicely, and then give it a coat of full coat, and then sand that down, and then buff it again. And it'll pretty much just get a smooth fiberglass finish, which is for lifetime, easy to clean, just wipe it down kind of stuff. Place where that liner is, right there, that's like pretty much rotten, and it was closed up with the liner, so you wouldn't even see it. It kind of looked perfect all the time. And so we're going to take all of that stuff off, and then put a new bulkhead in here, and she'll be as good as new. At least the wood's starting to dry out, so that means we've sealed most of the deck leaks. And where we found out that the things were leaking was, you can see these fittings here. So that's for this. It's for, I think this is one of the cleats. You can actually see the bolts still loose. So they're pretty much leaking, and It's allowing all that water runs down into the bilges. We sealed the windows, that's all good now. This is the resident bird around here. He's always around by the boats. Probably security.
Rika and I decided it's time to go to the mall and look for our washing machine. And why are you taking all the washing machines out?
I want to see the power ratings on them. This is 200 watts. This is like nada. Looking at fridges, we just bought a wash machine. Make life easy for ourselves. Things on everything.
Yeah, this one's good for the boat, babes. Maybe if we had a luxury yacht, eh?
Load all the fish that we're catching.
Yeah. So we bought a washing machine so that I could do washing at home and then put it on the yacht. So what are we doing today?
We're doing the engine today. We need to get it up and running.
But before we did that, I just had to take in that beautiful view.
So this works with a cooling system, so what it does, it draws salt water out of the ocean and goes through the heat exchanger, which is like a little set of little pipes in here, and then it transfers the heat into the, or transfers the engine from the antifreeze into the salt water and dumps that back into the sea. And I've opened up this side so you can have a look what it looks like. All those little pipes that you see there, so all of those, that's where the salt water runs through, and so you got to make sure that none of these are blocked, otherwise you won't get effective cooling. So I'm just opening both sides to check that out.
So we're trying to find the specs for this engine because it's giving us a little bit of problems. So Ricky's Googling.
She's revving super high, but the throttle's in the closed position and everything, and the cables check, and so something's up, I think. It's over-fueling. I haven't checked the injectors in there, so but before I do that I just want to download some information, because I know it's an Isuzu engine, but I don't know the rest of it, so I'm trying to pull up specs on this engine. Okay. All good, one down. And now when we haul up, we'll do the rest of the work.
So let me show you guys what we've done. So we've removed the kitchen, or the galley, as you want to call it, over here. We've removed the bar stools, if you guys can remember, that were over here. Taken out all the cabinets at the back there. So it's a lot more spacious than what it was. Come into the off-port cabin. Ricky's removed the cabinets that were over here and over here. What we're gonna do is make this into a bed and then have storage underneath instead of on the sides, so you could easily sleep about 2 people on here instead of having a single bed. We've removed all the liner, as you can see. We just got the liner to remove there. He's removed the cabins in the port forward cabin over here. As you can see, removed all the liner as well. Right now it's our tool storage room. Done the same with the starboard aft cabin. Removed the liner, gotten rid of some of the side, which will also most likely be doing on that side as well. Same with the head, we removed all the liner. Swell's rough today. Removed all the liner. And then same as the starboard forward cabin over here. The the same as we did in the starboard port cabin. Removed the liner, got rid of cabins on the sides. So yeah, we've been pretty busy. It's been a fun project so far. We've done a lot of work, lots of labor, but it has been cool, and the weather has held up with us, which we're happy about, and we're just waiting to get onto the hard so that we can do the actual structural work on it, as you can't really do that while you're in the water.
Hey, sweet cheeks, what you doing? What you doing?
We're scrubbing some barnacles off the scaling.
We were figuring out which wires go away and how we were going to remove it when we took our mast down. What you doing?
We're taking out the inverter. So I don't know if we're going to get a new one. I'm going to first price how much a new one will be. This one still works, but it's 1500 watts. I was thinking maybe we'd get a bigger one. This one's big enough though. It will run our stuff. So let's see.
So we are off to New Year's Eve, the last day of 2017, the last evening. Happy New Year's! So a man's work is never done. It's New Year's Eve and Ricky is trying to figure out how to turn on the lights.
At least they're not in total darkness. Let's go.
Happy New Year, honey!
So we're gonna go sleepy on our boat.
So we got fireworks here, dogs. So me and Ricky decided we're spending the night on the boat. So I hope everyone had a lovely New Year's. We sure did. We relaxed and watched movies and just catched up on some sleep. And today it's Tuesday the 2nd. We're going to help my cousin with his car, and then we're just gonna go to the yacht club and sign up for a membership. And then we're going to see when the crane can take off our mast, because we have to organize with a guy. So babes, what are we doing today?
If all goes well, we're going to take off the mast today. So
what do you have to check before you take off the mask?
Got to make sure that all the fittings come loose. So our standing rigging fittings come loose. So we're going to check that. I've checked a couple of them. We just got a problem with that front one on the furler. So just to get underneath it, we'll take it off, and then we're going to get rid of all our lines and take off the boom. So we just have the mast by itself.
What are you doing now, hon?
Trying to find all the cable that got to the mast so we can take it off. So, where's this light?
We decided to show you a bit of how the yacht club looks on a beautiful sunset. This was New Year's Eve, just as we arrived at the yacht club. We have our 2 resident rays over here, as you've seen in our previous episode. They've been swimming around. We'd like to thank our 2 new patrons, Fanie and Maritz van Zyl, for your donations. We greatly appreciate it and hope to see you guys on our adventures. Please be sure to subscribe below to our YouTube channel, like our Facebooks and Instagrams for updates, and join our patrons account. Stay tuned to see what will happen next week as we haul out the mast.